How is it going today, guys, at Fightful? We are here today with a very nice interview here today with the the OTT NLW champion, Mr. Renzo Rose. How are you doing today, Renzo?
Thank you for having me. All doing fine, all doing well. As you said, OTT NLW champion. Today is 100 days of rain as we record this, so pretty good day. Not too shabby.
Yep. And we'll get straight into it then. As you did say, 100 days as champion. We're going to go back in time, though. We're going to go to the day that you did win that championship. And you
Mm.
did win that championship in a very big moment. You beat Trent Seven and you beat him in Milan. And I just want to, just before we get into everything else to do with OTT and the Irish wrestling scene and so on, I just want to know, what did that mean for you to win that championship and to win it in Milan, in your home country?
Definitely meant a lot. It's the first show that OTT did proper outside the UK and Ireland, so it was a big deal altogether, and wasn't my first OTT main event, but was definitely the biggest for me. Trent Seven, like, he's a great opponent. Been to WWE, now he's in TNA. It was a tough challenge, but it was a great moment. It was a big show. We almost sold out the place for the first show in Italy. That is not a guarantee for the Italian wrestling, and winning it in, like, with the locker room with some of my Irish colleagues, but also some Italians and my friends and family in the crowd was a moment that will be hard to top it in the near future. Will be very hard, but it's fine like this. I won't change it for any other way, especially because like I've been a bit naughty, if you
Yeah.
say, in Ireland and UK, but in Italy the reception is being totally different. Like, I've been treated like a star, like a proper, hero for the crowd, and I wasn't expecting that. So it was a great moment altogether.
And you did mention the Italian wrestling scene and so on, and that it wouldn't be guaranteed to really get it sold, the event sold out. And I'm just wondering, before we do talk more about OTT and that, what is your general opinion of the Italian wrestling scene, and maybe just some things that maybe some talent, some things that fans may not know about, because there's not a lot of conversations to be had about the Italian wrestling scene, and I think you've brought kind of a bit of a spotlight to it, at least in Ireland, anyway. And I'm just wondering, what kind of aspects of the Italian wrestling scene do you think fans could really find an interest in?
Well, the Italian wrestling scene is a weird one because, like, the Irish wrestling scene, they were born pretty much in the early 2000s,
Hmm.
so it's the same length. But on the other hand, we didn't have people going abroad and learning or getting signed, and these are just changed in the last 5 years. You see a lot of guys like Akira being New Japan, me being in OTT, the BBB lads being Ref Pro OTT, and now Japan as well. Things are changing, obviously, but it's a scene that has some gems, but it's a scene that needs to grow more, obviously. I'm not going to lie and say that we are on the same level of the other wrestling scene, even like Ireland or UK. But there's definitely a movement in the right direction. You can see a lot of young guys moving, wanting to learn, and shows are getting bigger. Um, I remember when I started wrestling in Italy like 6 or 7 years ago, getting a draw of 50 people in the crowd was something spectacular. Like, was something very, very tough to get. But now you see more shows. I'm willing to plug in, SIW Wrestling in Tuscany, or Milan Wrestling Federation, that are doing sold out consistently. Talent is getting good, and talent from abroad now wants to go to Italy and wrestle. So it's a scene that is getting matured, and for people that want to check the wrestling scene in Italy, the only thing that I will get is just wait for them. They will get to you. Don't worry, they will get to you.
Yeah, and obviously hearing you speak about, you have a lot of admiration for the Italian wrestling scene. You do want to see it succeed, but you have been wrestling for OTT for quite a while now, and you've almost made it a second home for yourself, if not your home. But I just want to know what for you as a foreign wrestler coming into the Irish and UK scene, because obviously OTT has seen its fair share of UK imports, but as for the rest of Europe, it's been kind of different. So, just your outlook on the Irish scene, really, as a foreign wrestler in 2024.
Well, the Irish wrestling scene, I think, is very different because I say the UK scene, but it's mostly England, is based on good technical wrestling,
Yeah.
basically, or good workers, pretty much. But you rarely see lately like a mixture of character and workers. Like usually, if they're both of them, they get signed straight away. So you kind of get this unbalance, I think, in the England scene. But the Irish wrestling scene has more of that, has more leaning, I think, into the American wrestling scene than the UK one, and it's been actually very good for me working here and being able to lean into that aspect. And I felt that the crowd here wanted to see more of that. You know, they want to see they want you to be established as a good worker and a good wrestler. Like they want you to be good, but they want something else as well. As soon as the crowd establishes that, okay, you can go, they want to see something more. The Irish wrestling scene, at least. And for me, I found that gap in the market, and I tried to lean into that. And that's what I think is different. It's more leaning into the American style, but still, as you said, there's a lot of UK English imports, and that gets the technical level up.
Yeah. So throughout your time in OTT, you've actually wrestled some pretty big names, pretty big imports. Some former WWE guys, obviously, you wrestled Tajiri, Scotty Tuhati, and
Mhm.
Carlito. And I'm just wondering what you did learn from them, and even so, working around Santino Marella as well.
Well, I learned pretty much everything because I was people really don't understand that I was basically thrown in randomly, like for the first match with Tajiri, because when the Tajiri match was announced, I just did 2 matches in OTT,
Yeah.
so I was basically fresh on the scene. Had a couple of matches, one with Scotty Davis, one with LJ Cleary, and then I was thrown into that match. And was kind of a sink or swim situation for me. And what I did, I was thinking, I remember like as soon as the match was announced, I was happy, but I was thinking like, uh, am I up for the task? Am I up for the challenge? And then I thought, what do I need to improve? What I need to learn? And I was talking with my first coach that I ever had in wrestling, that's Fabio Ferrari in Italy. And he told me, just do what you do, because if you get booked for that match, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just go and have the confidence to do what you're doing. And actually was a tough match per se, but was also very easy. And they helped me those matches to make me feel like, okay, I'm going to the right direction, and what they're doing is not so different of my vision of wrestling. Very minimalistic, but getting over some important parts of the story. Could it be, the props that they have, Tajiri have the Miz, Santina has the Cobra, or Carlita has the Apple. But I have the Roses, let's say. And I found that I was thinking, okay, I can use my character to get me over as they do in their same way. And I think after each and every one of them match, I got something new for myself, and I learned something new. And even when some imports come, TT and they wrestle someone else, I try still to get something out of them, because if they've been to WWE for over 20 years, there's something right they're doing. And I want to steal that and use it for myself, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll go back a little and we're going to talk a little more about your No Limits title reign, because it's 100 days today, as you said, and you've actually it's been an eventful one so far for you. You've put your OTT career on the line. You've wrestled Robbie X. You've wrestled Be Cool, and I obviously, like I said, it's been a hectic title reign for you so far, but for you, what's next? What comes next after Griffin McCoy at Gaff Party? What happens after that for you?
Well, the objective, as soon as I got the belt, my first defense was outside of OTT, another Italian guy named
Yeah.
Corsi. And I said as soon as possible. I felt that OTT wants to, as always, lean into the European market. We're getting shows, got a show in Italy, we got a show, plenty of show in the UK, Northern Ireland. We're moving around, and we want to be the premier European company. And I think we almost there. What does it really lacks is an European vision of our product. And I think the NLW Championship should be that. And I say straight away, I challenged Be Cool for the belt. I put the belt on the line, and I told him, if the Irish cannot step up, they're not going to challenge anymore for the belt. Be Cool lost, and so it's time to give the opportunity to other countries. Griffin McCoy is from the USA, so it's a very important step for my title reign. And I seen him. I saw tapes of him. Lots of people in Ireland don't know him, but I saw him. And as soon as I beat him, the tour's gonna continue. I face England, Italy, Ireland, France. Then now it's gonna be Spain next, Germany. There's a lot of country that has a really good scene, or maybe you can go even abroad some more. There's so many countries that has to showcase some talents, and I want them to fight for something that is important in European wrestling, that the NLW Championship, and that's my objective. Continue and have a list and tick every boxes on the European and then international scene.
Yeah, so a world tour of sorts, if I may say so. You've been talking a lot about character work and how important that is, especially in the Irish scene, and definitely a unique character that you have been working with for quite some time. You've faced off, you've tagged with none other than the Sem, and I'm just wondering, long term, not even long term, but what has that been like for you? What have you learned from that, and just what comes next for that kind of relationship, should I say?
He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. The Sam, I'm not going to lie and say that we, as opponent and tag partners, we share important moments. I'm not going to pretend that he wasn't there in Milan when I won the belt. We even had technically a belt together. We were GN champions for 7 days together until he lost the belt by himself. It's something unique. I'll say that it's something unique, and it's doing something that nobody is doing in wrestling internationally. And I'm sure that he's gonna get lots of eyes on him. He's a fan favorite, but it's not my cup of tea. I spent 2023 basically with him, and I'll give everything to not spend 2024 with him. I want him to do good, just without me. So that's all I'm going to say about him.
And just we'll go to one more question. Obviously, you did challenge for the OTT World Title last year with Sammy D. You did come up a little short, but is a double champion accomplishment something that you would like with the NLW title, or are you completely focused on that until you lose it, and then will that be what comes after for Renzo Rose?
I'm not planning on losing the title, especially because I don't think that's. I talk a lot about the NLW Championship being an European belt, but still the OTT World Heavyweight Championship is a world belt, proper international belt. And he has less history of an NLW belt, but let's face it, that's the most important belt. And I'm not willing to drop the title before getting that. I want to get my chance at the OTT World Heavyweight Championship. And I want to keep in mind one thing. I won the GN Championship. I am the NLW champion. And I want to get all three. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. No semi-D's the first Grand Slam. I'm going to be the second.
So that's all the questions I do have for you today, Renzo. Absolutely wonderful chatting to you. Do you have anything you want to promote coming forward? I know you're competing in a tag match this week and at Sheriff Street.
Well, the match has got just announced with me and my tag partner Ilya, Sheriff Street. I will tell you to go check the show, but the show is sold out, so tough luck for you guys. But we're gonna go back at Gaff Party in Dublin, Belfast, and also Wolverhampton. I'm gonna be in Dublin at the moment. Is announced my title defense against Griffin McCoy, and be there. He's gonna be a very important step on the NLW Championship. And another thing that I would like to add, this is a general message for the wrestling fans and the wrestlers in the scene all around the world. I am the NLW champion. I'm not lying when I say this is an international belt. If someone wants to step up, someone wants to see their favorite guy from their favorite scene getting a chance to hold the most prestigious title in European wrestling, say it, tweet it, make some noise about it. Because it's time that we have in Europe something that defines the scene. And I have it. And I'm working my ass off for that. And people need to start noticing that. And anyone wants to step up, I'm here.
All right, guys, that's going to be the end of this interview. If you want to follow Renzo, you can find him on social media. Sorry, I can't even remember your handle, just completely spaced. Do you remember your handle on X?
Renzo Rose _IT. That's
Make sure to give him a follow. Make sure to keep up with what he's doing with the NLW Championship, and make sure to subscribe to Fightful Overbooked for the future, guys. And I will see you guys for the next interview.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.